Welcome to this CPD training, 1 hour CPD training on AI Plan A. We're going to talk about AI. Really excited to share this with you. This is going to be really good. Look, all our trainings are great. All our CPD trainings are great, obviously, but this is going to be really good. Promise you, right? Wherever you found this training, feel free to share it with your friends, your colleagues, and other people in your company. This is the whole aim of us doing these CPD trainings. Now, we're testing this interesting piece of technology here. Well, more than testing it, we're using it, actually. At some point, towards the latter end of this training, you'll get this CPD code. You'll get this QR code that'll help you get your CPD certificate. So when this code is fully revealed, scan the code, put your name, put your email, bingo, you'll get your CPD certificate. Great piece of automation. So for me, AI is another road to automation. That's it. That's the way I see it. We had automation for numbers with Excel, and now we've got it for words, pictures, videos, voice, and everything else. So that's the way I'm looking at AI. Really excited to be doing this training with you. Just to clarify, I'm going to show you how I came up with AI Plan A. And this is a focused training for the business as usual departments. So your sales, your marketing, your finance, your HR, all the departments that need to make sure the business as usual runs, right? I've got a separate one for the IT guys and a separate one for the management, all focused on this idea of Plan A. And I've broken it down because the way I see it is everybody has a slightly separate view and a slightly separate take, and I'm trying to bring it all together and give each section of a company their own focus. So that's why I've created the trilogy. And I like trilogies, but it's to make it more effective. That's the reason behind the way I've done these trainings. So once again, share it with your colleagues, your friends, even if they're in different departments. Whether you're in business as usual department, share it with the IT and management, or share their trainings. You'll find them in the same place as you found these. Really excited to be doing this. Love sharing this idea with you. Okay, so you'll see this QR code. Please scan it. Take the quiz. It's a free quiz. 8 to 10 questions, probably around about there. It'll help you get more resources for your organization, more free resources, and then we'll also be able to see if we can help you further. So CPD is great. CPD is superb for helping you empower your colleagues, upskill team members, and prepare and get them ready for the biggest challenge, the biggest opportunity. And this is a extended version of a presentation I did at the CPD Expo in November, Excel London. And just in case you weren't there, you couldn't make it, I've recorded this extended version for you. Yeah. If you were there, you can also watch this extended version because I didn't have enough time to go through everything. Hence, I'm going through this extended version. In fact, watch all three takes on it. It'll help you get a really great understanding of how to put AI into your organization. Yeah, no matter its size. So, like I said, I'm the chief trainer at AI Now Academy. There's the barcode. Get some great free resources. It's a quick little quiz. Feel free to take it. I'll remind you again. So, I would say I'm a child of Tomorrow's World, the TV program, right? And they always talked about what's coming in the future. And for me, the future is here. AI is actually happening now. it's got to be one of the most exciting and scariest parts of history. You're seeing it unfold live as it happens. We're witnessing it now. So look, it is going. You've got to, and I know it's scary, but I think you've got to view it with some fun, right? You've got to try and enjoy it as much as you can. Basically, like a roller coaster, it's scary and fun at the same time. So here's a quick table of contents. This is what I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to me. Then I'm going to go through the why, the what, and the how. And the conclusion of everything is the idea of AI Plan A. How I came up with it, why you want to think about putting it in your organization, and how we can help you do it. Okay, here's a quick introduction. So just a quick reminder, if you haven't had a chance yet, scan the code, take the quiz. I'm going to keep reminding you. It's for your benefit. Answer some questions that will help you clarify or crystallize your thinking so that you can help your company, your organization move forward with, call it the adventure that is AI, right? Okay, so introduce myself. This is me. My name's Dil Gujral. I'm the chief trainer at AI Now Academy. We're a training organization and we focus primarily on the business as usual departments. All the stuff that a business needs to make sure it runs, right? Of course, everybody needs everybody else, but we're focused more on Plan A. So this is the concept of what I call Plan A, AI Plan A. This is the first action plan everybody should be doing, as well as all the other stuff. And I'm going to go through why I came up with it. So I think AI is the biggest opportunity. It is scary. And what I've done is split it up into a trilogy. So, like I said, in this training, I'm going to talk about your business as usual departments. If you've got an L&D training section, whether you have or not, this applies to your sales, your marketing, your HR, your finance, all those types of departments. I've done a separate one for IT because they've got different bunch of challenges with AI. And I go through their version of Plan A, how they should probably see Plan A. And then I've got another one for management, how they, I feel, need to understand AI and how they need to deal with it. So there's 3 separate versions of this, each focused on each section. Okay, so I'm going to share why I came to this conclusion, why AI Plan A is your best and first option. Everybody should be executing this, right? Regardless of their size, regardless of area of business or what they do. Yeah. So we look at the current situation. Why is everybody worried about AI? What do we do with AI? Typo there. What do we do with AI? Yeah. What we got to do it. That's the complication. Everybody's worried about it. What do we do with it? And how should we deal with it is the question everyone's asking, right? And therefore, this leads me to the conclusion, and this is why I'm going to break it down and explain it. AI Plan A. Yeah. So we have a number of frameworks. We've got about 17, probably adding a few on by the time you get to it. One of them is AI Plan A. It's basically a strategy. We give it out free. Other consultancies would charge tens of thousands and give you something that you don't really want, which is fire your guys, get AI automated systems, and then have a detrimental effect on your business. That's the summary of it. We believe in the complete opposite, which is AI Plan A. We share that free with you. This is part of the process of sharing it. We also have what we call the Win AI system, which is how you get all of your members of your team to participate in getting AI working for your organization. We then have the POP framework. I'm going to explain what the POP framework is. And that helps each individual to take part in this revolution. It's a good way of describing it. Instead of worrying about it, get them all on board. Get them to take part. Yeah. Our mission is to train organizations how to use AI effectively, not dodge it, not be scared of it. That's what we're here to do. So I'm going to go through the why next. So in this section, I'm going to go through why, the current situation. Why is everyone worried about AI? And look, if you're worried about it, it's normal. Yeah. Everyone I talk to, I discuss it, is slightly worried about AI. So it's not unusual. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already done so, please take the quiz. Start your AI journey with us. We're going to send you some great free material, free trainings, give you a free strategy. I'll talk about it later on. All free. Just simply scan the code, fill in your details, take 8 to 10 questions on the quiz, and we're here to help you. So, as I said, why is everyone worried about AI? And it's quite normal to worry about it. Well, usually when we worry about things, we always think, well, let's ignore it. And here, I'm going to talk about why doing nothing is not an option. Okay? So, what we got is, as time's going on, the gap is increasing. So, there will be those organizations that take action. They learn AI skills, increase their capability. They are delivering stuff faster and better. And therefore, they're building a competitive advantage, which means they're getting ready for future growth, right? The opposite to that, if you do nothing, your skills are falling behind automatically, right? Your competitors may overtake you, and your relevance of your business decreases. We all have competitors, right? So you've got to be aware of that. The risks are increasing the longer you leave it, and therefore you're risking more decline. So look, that gap increases as time goes on. That gap is increasing. So you need to be taking some action. Yeah, action is important. Don't ignore AI. It's not going to be good for your organization. I'm seeing some organizations that are ignoring it. Most of them don't actually know what to do with it. Hence, this is what I'm discussing in this series of AI Plan A's. So as you see, the gap increases as time goes on. Okay, these are the top AI questions that I've been discussing with people, and these are the top ones that I've got from people. The first one is what is AI? WIFM. What's in it for me? How can AI help me? Yeah. Why is AI hard? Because look, everybody finds it hard. You are not alone. And why do we act? Why do we need to act now? Why action is needed, right? So, first of all, let's look at this question. What is AI? Well, at its simplest level, it's simply software and hardware bundled together. If you think about it, that's the simplest way of thinking about AI, right? Now, I'm going to break it into 3 levels. And within each of these levels, they have different risks and rewards. So this will help you clarify your thinking. The way we handle everything is how we think about it, right? So it helps. Let's think about it, AI in this way. You have basically simple tools. These are the simple apps. Single user, you put something in, you get something out. It does something, right? That's a simple AI tool. Next level, you have slightly more complex tools, right? So these are your things like chatbots. Needs a bit more configuration. I'm going to talk about that. But you can get other people to use them. So you can configure them, other people can use them. They're your slightly more complex tools. More training, more investment, so on. And then you've got the really complex stuff. These are your things like your AI agents that do stuff on their own without human intervention. So nobody needs to be there. They run on their own. And it can be a little bit scary, but these are the most complex AI systems. So think about AI in these three levels. You've got simple tools, you've got more complicated tools, and then you've got the complex AI systems. When you start to break it down like that, remember, there's still hardware and software, but when you break it down into those three segments, then you start to think differently about this stuff. Okay, so simple AI tools, there's lots of them about. There's so many about. They don't need much investment in terms of time, in terms of money. Time, they do need some investment, but that's why we're here. We're here to help you do help you cut down that time so you get most out of your time investment. But they deliver the results fastest and they have the lowest risk. The main reason for the lowest risk is because the term is human in the loop. Whoever's putting the input in, receiving the output, is making a judgment on whether to use that or not. So that's, in a simplest sense, least risk option. It's still AI, gives you the biggest return, lowest investment, least risk option. Next, we've got complex tools. So these are examples like chatbots and automations with your teams as well. So these are simple or complex automations. You need more money and you need more time investment, right? In fact, I've got a training I think it's a relatively simple tool that allows you to create a chatbot really fast. The training's half an hour. You could probably create it in about an hour or two, yeah? And it's off-the-shelf software. Earlier this year in February, I was astounded at, I would say it took me a day and I was quite slow at it. Now I can do it really fast. Created a voice chatbot. Amazing piece of kit, right? And it's moved on since. So look, these are complex tools. They need more investment in terms of time, perhaps a little bit more money, but definitely more training, right? The results are slower, but the risk is higher than the simple apps. So that's the way we're looking at these things. Next, we've got the rocket ships, right? This stuff is exciting and scary at the same time, yeah? More investment, especially if you want to do it properly and you want to do it without risk. The results are slower and the risk is higher because you're not sure what the output's going to be. So these are your AI systems. And this is why I signify it as a rocket ship. This is the stuff, and there's a discussion point whether it's available within 2 years or 10 years, but this stuff will come, no doubt. You can see the prototypes and you can see them moving fast. So that's your complex AI systems. This is what you call AI agents and so forth. We don't know how long they're going to be, but they are there. They're still going to carry the biggest risk for an organization, depending on the type of organization. So next we come on to the question, how can AI help me? Everybody's favorite radio channel, WIIFM. What's in it for me? Why should I bother with AI, right? Sensible question. Now, normally, with three factors such as speed, quantity, quality, if we want more speed, it costs us more money. If we want to do something faster, it'll cost us more. If we want a better quality, it'll cost us more. And if we want more of it, it'll cost us more. With AI, you can have more speed, more quantity, more quality, but at a lower price. So it allows you to do things, do more of them, do it faster, do it better, with a lower cost. That's unusual. This is one of the things you've got to understand about AI. More, better, faster, with less cost. That's automation summed up for you, basically, right? So the next question we think about is, why is AI hard? It's quite hard because it's actually moving really fast. Not only is it moving fast, it's following a regular pattern. However, this pattern is happening faster. So first I'm going to show you the pattern that it follows. This is called the Gartner curve, right? So somebody has a technology trigger. So somebody starts a piece of tech and they share it. That, I think, happened in November 22, right? From what I've heard, read, and and shared, ChatGPT was actually just an experiment. It wasn't supposed to take off. That's why it's got that funny name. It's not a consumer name. They let it out for an experiment, a trial, and it suddenly went boom. It is one of the fastest things to catch everyone's interest in history of IT, right? But this is a normal this is a pattern that's normally followed by IT. You get a prototype, they release it, and then everyone starts talking about it, and it's, if you're a marketing guy, sorry, it's largely the marketing people's fault. They oversell it. You get a peak of inflated expectations. And when the rubber meets the ground, i.e. when the actual stuff starts coming out, you get this trough of disillusionment. We've all seen it. Mobile phones, I've got one here, right? So mobile phones, you remember the old bricks, you had to carry them on your, have a little strap, and suddenly they shrunk. So all technology goes through this, it's called the Gartner hype cycle, right? Then you get the real thing coming up, the first examples of it. It's not the best. And if you remember back to ChatGPT, it wasn't as good as it is now. I mean, stuff now is unbelievably fantastic. But we all saw this happening. Trough of disillusionment. Yeah. And then as the guys ship the product, start to work and different versions of it, it gets better and better. We've seen this everywhere. Internet, mobile phones, broadband, all of it. And you get the slope of enlightenment. Things get better and better. And then suddenly, eventually you end up with plateau productivity. So this stuff's useful. It's not as good as promised, but it's not as bad as the first example. So not as good, not as bad. It's in the middle. And it's quite useful. So that's plateau productivity. Yeah. So that's a classic hype cycle. Now, the issue with AI is the speed at which it's moving. So this illustrates technology curve, technology adoption, the time it took 50% of US households to get this far. With PCs, it took 20 years. Then you had the internet, which took 12 years. Remember the old dial-up going. Most of you guys won't remember it. So I was working in tech in the dot-com boom. Yeah. So that took 12 years to get going. Then you had mobile internet, which only took 6. And here comes the surprise. So AI reached that milestone of 50% household adoption in the US within 3 years. If you look at it, it's the fastest. Things are getting faster and faster. Yeah. People say this, think the world seems to be getting faster and faster. Well, these figures prove it's true. That's why we sort of have a hard time dealing with it. And AI is particularly fast. Every day I see new stuff coming on. So you are not alone if you're having problems dealing with it. It's just the sheer speed of it. Now, there's something called an adoption curve, yeah, which is it's about ideas. It also applies to technology. How quick something gets adopted. You have 5 sets of groups here. You get the innovators. These are the guys that adopt it first because they like experimenting stuff. Then you have the early adopters. These guys recognize the potential and say, we need to look at this. Then you have the late majority. When everybody becomes normal. So mobile phones, probably smartphones, everyone's got them. You have to try and buy a non-smartphone deliberately. There is a use for it. I think it's going to get more and more popular now, right? And then you've got the late majority, which will buy it out of necessity because the other stuff doesn't work. And finally, you've got the laggards. They don't want to do it, whatever you say, but eventually these are the last to adopt it. So this is known as the adoption curve. Follows roughly this pattern. We are roughly here. We've just come out of innovators where if you're doing AI now, you're still an early adopter, right? But time is sort of running out. When the early adopters stop, and we're quite close, we're somewhere in between. I don't know where we are. if you can tie your shoelace, think of this as the early majority. Everybody knows how to tie their shoelace. It's not an example. It's not an advantage. If you can use a spreadsheet, everybody knows how to use a spreadsheet. You might not know how to use it as well as the other people, but that's where you get into. Once everybody starts using it, it's no longer an advantage. If you can't use it, you're lagging behind. And I think we're somewhere in between. We've passed early adopters, but we're not there at the early majority yet. So that's where we are. Next, I'm going to talk about the what. What do we do with AI? So in this section, we're going to talk about the what. And if you haven't done so, just a quick reminder, scan this QR code, do the quiz, quick 8 to 10 questions, and we'll send you some great, fantastic free stuff. And we'll see if we can help you further if we want to work together. So we're discussing the what, the complication. What do we do with AI? What are we going to do with it? And this is what I'm going to talk about in this section. Okay. So how do we deal with it as an organization? Yeah. This is a case study of how I discovered AI Plan A. And this is what I'm going to try and share with you, right? So there's an AI challenge. And this is an actual conversation with an actual IT manager. I won't reveal their name, but this is roughly how it went. They said to me, Dill, the board has said to me, deal with AI. 6 months, it was actually 4 or 5 months ago. It took place earlier this year. And they said, well, with 4.5 months in, we don't know what to do with it. We have no idea. We've tried doing tiger teams. We've tried setting up working groups. And we don't know how to handle it. And at that point, it got me thinking. I thought, well, the AI is such a big subject. And I was just roughly working on the chatbot project. But I thought, there's so much of it. There's got to be a better option. And this is where I came up with this idea of Plan A. Yeah. What can we do with AI to get everybody in the company involved? Because from what I was seeing, it's a technology everyone's going to use. Yeah. Just like mobile phones, everyone uses mobile phones. Just like spreadsheets, everyone uses spreadsheets. Nobody has typewriters. They don't even have word processors. The old electronic typewriters. We all type on computers. You've got spreadsheets. You've got your Word documents. You've got PowerPoint slides. You've got internet browsers. You've got email. Everybody uses those technologies, right? It doesn't matter which department they work in. Same with mobile phones. So that's what triggered off this thinking. I said, okay, well, look, everybody thinks AI is a management problem to deal with. The management are actually passing it to IT. IT, depending on the experience of their directors and their managers, will deal with it in a certain way. But what's being ignored is majority of the workforce. And that's why we're sort of scared of IT, because you might have heard of it. Everybody believes AI is going to take their job. I believe the opposite, actually. I think what AI is going to do is free up the workforce so they're actually going to become more of a great sales force for the company. And I've talked to a number of IT directors, talked to a number of AI companies where they've helped to do this. So look, AI is not to be scared of, it's to be embraced, because it's going to help you. And the sector we concentrate on as a company now is training sales, marketing, HR, finance to use AI more effectively, whether you've got an L&D training department or not. This is where AI Plan A came out of. And the reason I split it into three if you're in management, if you're in IT, or if you're in business as usual department, you're going to have slightly different needs. You're going to look at AI differently, and you're going to focus on it differently. You're welcome to watch all three. They're not a secret. They're open out there. And please share it. I'd love for you to share this stuff. Yeah, that's what it's designed to do. So, like I said earlier, if we think about the most popular pieces of software, they're all ready to go. There's the Microsoft version. There's the Google free version. They're all very similar. Depends on if you're in corporate, you're probably using Microsoft. If you've got a bit more sway, you might be using Google. Big fan of Excel, but I'm seeing the stuff you can do in Google Sheets. So I use both of those virtually, roughly. I'm quite liking what Google's doing, but I don't have shares in Google. I don't have shares in Microsoft. So they've all got this is what you call ready to software. It's all, you don't pay for this, you don't get this built. Sorry, you pay for a license fee, but you don't build it, right? It's all ready to go. You click and go. That's what software is now. And this got me thinking, we should have a similar approach to AI. Not all of it, but some of it, right? So, came up with the phrase ready to go AI. Okay. So these are the top 5 companies in terms of investment. This is based on figures that investments they made between the 10 years between 2013 and 23, right? It's $500 billion. It's a huge amount, right? They've created some great apps. For about $20 to $30 a month, you can get hold of some great apps. It's just a license fee on a monthly basis. Use as long as you want and cancel it. In fact, I'm recording this on Loom, which is $24 a month. Fantastic app. I didn't understand how to use it till I started doing these trainings, recording these trainings. Okay, look. It's a colossal amount. It's $500 billion. It's like $471 billion. That's 1 in 8 of all the GDP of UK in 2024, right? At the time of recording, this is still 2025. Ridiculous amount. You know, that's every dollar, every pound that was transacted in the UK in 2024. 1/8. Huge amounts. And the projections are, in 2025, it's going to be $1.5 trillion. And in 2026, we're going to look at 2 trillion. This is the most money anybody's ever spent in history. It's just off the charts, right? Okay. So top 3 ready to go AIs. Yeah. We've come across all of these, right? You've heard of most of these. Everyone's favorite, OpenAI or ChatGPT, everyone calls it. Everyone thinks that's AI. That is not AI. That's just one app, right? Microsoft has its own version, Corporate, Copilot 365. Don't think it's the best one. And there's a hidden secret one, which is Google, right? So look, there's the numbers they spent on it. And depending on what time you watch this, when I did my presentation, it was a couple of months ago, I was saying Google's going to win. I've been saying it for about a year. Wish I'd put it down a bit harder and somewhere where I could look it up. I've been saying it for a while, and now Google is acknowledged as to be the company that's overtaking. So it doesn't matter, we train all 3, we're oblivious. It doesn't matter what you use, we can train all 3. Probably Google and Microsoft are going to be corporate favorites, right? Okay, here's an idea. So for business investment, everybody thinks you put some money in, what's your return? But here's another way of thinking of return on investment. If you invest some money in training your staff, and with AI, you can easily achieve a 10 to 20% return, right? But here's the idea to understand. You will achieve that return for as long as they stay. So you will, if you get a 10% return, you get it in the first year. You get it in the second year and the third year and the fourth, as long as they continue to stay with you, right? So that return compounds. So training is really effective way of creating a really good return on your investment. Just an example of figures, yeah? So Plan A, AI Plan A started as what I call ready to go AI. Use the stuff that's already available, pay for the monthly licenses, and bingo, you're off to the races, right? So that's AI Plan A. Lower risk. You could see the returns within our first training. 59 to an hour to 2 hours training. We could start showing your team members how to use AI effectively, get a great return. Contrast that with what I call wrapper AI. That's a term that's used quite frequently. Basically, everybody is building their stuff on existing foundational models, and they call it wrapper AI. It's not really a derogatory term, but it describes it quite well. Everyone's wrapping the user interface on top of existing models, right? That's harder, and I'm going to go through why that's harder to get a return, and it's more riskier and it takes longer. Okay, this is a good way of looking at this and explaining this, right? This is what I call, how do we deal with AI? It's a 3x3 matrix. It's AI risk and return matrix, yeah? So on the top, I've put down AI apps, chatbots and automations, and specialist AI agents, right? Looking at it on the side, you've got internal use where you're using individual productivity, and then you've got still internal, but you're using it with your team members, right? And finally, at the bottom, you've got customer-facing applications. The biggest return on investment with the least risk and the maximum impact is these first four areas where you've got individuals and internal teams using AI apps, perhaps using slight automations and automating chat. Those four squares, if you like, carry the biggest return, least risk, and the quickest return on your investment. So everybody seems to be ignoring those four areas, right? Everybody's too busy doing AI agents, dealing with customer facing stuff. They're forgetting the internal to the company, existing apps, and perhaps slightly better existing apps that you could turn into chats. And I've done a training on one of those. Even I was shocked how good it was, right? So that's the space everybody should be looking at and everyone's ignoring. And it's the whole crux, the whole idea behind AI Plan A. It's quite a good diagram, actually. Okay, so let me break that down further. You've got level 1, AI, very simple apps. You just buy a license, a couple of dollars, give your staff some training, and you're all good to go, right? Low cost, quick return, high return, right? Then you've got the next bit where you've got chatbots and automations. It'll take more money because it's not necessarily what you pay for the applications. Then they're not that much more expensive than apps, but it takes more time to get going with them, takes more training, and you've got to think about how you're going to support and maintain those. People forget those. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you've got AI agents. These are specialist AI agents. You should not be building these in-house. And if you want to know why, watch the IT training bit. It's not a discipline that you should be doing. I see a lot of stuff where small businesses are trying to do it. I would probably stay away from that stuff. It just changes too fast. You haven't got the bandwidth for maintenance, and you need to run your core business rather than become a chatbot developer, right? Nothing wrong with chatbot developers. It's a different type of skill set. Okay. So again, here's a little diagram that helps you clarify your thinking. So we're looking at three things: individual productivity, team operations, customer facing applications. With the individual stuff, if you do not give your staff AI, you get something called shadow AI, which means they're taking your company's information, sticking it into their personal laptops and using ChatGPT, but other AIs as well, right? Problem with that is you're getting something called data leakage, i.e. your company stuff is going on those chats, going on those AIs, and it's being leaked into the internet. That's a big risk. Whereas if you're getting corporate licenses for those AI apps, they're not supposed to leak your data. So that's the difference between the two. So watch out for shadow AI and data leakage. It's bad enough if it's your company's IP that's being leaked. It's even worse when it's your customers' details. The other thing to watch out for is your customers' details. The other thing to watch out for is it's going to end up on the internet being shared. And if you're oversharing with stuff in ChatGPT, be careful. Don't do it, basically, right? I see a lot of people on commenting and sharing saying we share everything. Yeah, well, it's going to end up on the internet. Not great, right? Next, you've got team. Now, we're assuming this team stuff is internal, right? You're getting more and more complicated apps, non-standardized. You've got to be careful how you're using these, right? They don't have the this is where you get the expert users creating stuff, or power users is a better term, where they're having a go tinkering, getting it created, but they don't have the IT discipline. And I've worked in both departments to understand what the difference is now. Not saying don't do it, because people will do it. I'm saying be careful and understand the old adage of garbage in, garbage out, right? Need to be careful, especially with hallucinations. That's another term that you need to understand. And the biggest thing of all, you've got customer facing applications, right? So this stuff is the most risky, right? Because by law, whatever your chatbot says is a part of your binding agreement. A lot of hallucinations is not a bug, it's actually a feature, but people don't know how to control it properly. Yeah. So watch out for that. It's a little bit challenging. Okay, now we come on to the how. How do we deal with AI? So here's the how section. Now is next, right? Now is next. If you haven't done so, take the quiz, a quick little quiz, 8 to 10 questions, gives you more resources, and see if we can work together. But now we're going to discuss how. How should we deal with AI? It's a great question, right? So we are a training company, yeah, but when I was working, this is how training felt. I'm trying to do my work, I've got stuff going on, and you're giving me another thing to do, right? And a lot of the time, training doesn't help you achieve your daily processes and daily work. So our mission is to create what we call transformative training. We want to create transformation in your team members, yeah? It's not another thing for them to do. It should help them achieve their daily work. That's how we think about transformative training, yeah? Gives you the skills to help you do your work better, quicker, and faster. That's what it's all about, yeah? And one of the ways we do that is we use what's called the WIN system. We do initial training, an hour to 59 minutes to 2 hours. Within that time period, we will whet their appetite to use AI. It's like going into an ice cream shop and they give you an ice cream sample. You can't help to buy it, right? You need to buy that ice cream. This is the objective with that. We're trying to get people to say, okay, now I see what all the excitement's about, why AI is useful. I'm going to try and work out how to use it. I'm going to use it in my role. I'm going the wrong way, I think. Yeah. So next, we ideate AI. We make it relevant to their role, to their job role, so it's useful for them. Yeah. This is what we call ideate. We get them to basically draw up a blueprint that works for them, for your team members in their role as they do it. Yeah. And finally, not last but not least, we get Navigated AI, which is the bit that helps everybody deal with the day-to-day questions. Think of it as the reason I named it Navigate AI is think of it as a sat nav for getting over the challenges. And when I was coming home working on this presentation, there's a roadblock. Couldn't go through the road because they were doing some work. So I thought, oh, I'll just turn left, use the sat nav, bingo, gets you home, right? So there's your navigation. That's a longer term program. So we break it down into these 3 elements. And this is where we get the Win AI system. This is what we use to get everybody moving along this AI journey. Part of the Ideate AI is the POP process. Sounds like a good name, right? We think about it: people, objectives, processes. So every one of your team members, people, has an objective. They go through a process whereby they deliver their work. That's what we use. We give them an individualized, it's a good name, right? Individualized framework, a roadmap from where they can carry out their stuff faster, right? Faster, better. Sort of say something else in a minute. Faster and better, right? That's the whole idea behind it. And make it personalized to each individual team member, depending on their objectives and the processes. So that's very personalized. This is why we think of this as bespoke training. It's not a general one size fits all. Yeah. Very bespoke to your team members. And that's the process we use. We call it the POP process. Okay. Then we come on to third element, which is Navigate AI. Now, it doesn't matter how much training you have. You need to have the 3 C's of effective transformation. Without this, the training is almost useless. Yeah. It doesn't embed in your day-to-day activity. Yeah. So the 3 C's, first one is content. That's just standard training. You get it delivered, right? Except we make it curated content, relevant to what you're trying to do, or your team members trying to do. Next is coaching. Now, coaching is where you unblock their roadblocks, unblock their sticky points, yeah? So we have a program of coaching. And the final element, last but not least, is community. Community is one of the most effective ways of transforming your staff members, your team members. Yeah. What do I mean by community? Once everybody's talking about this, they love this stuff, they will move faster together. Think about it. If you go to school, there's a little community. If you've got kids, nephews, nieces, they love going to school because they've got friends there. That's community, right? Unfortunately, teachers are being forced to deliver content, and there's perhaps not as much coaching as they would like. Yeah, not ragging on the school system. Well, slightly, but I'm definitely not ragging on the teachers. Teachers are doing an amazing job. So look, you've got the 3 C's. This helps you get your team members to embed AI into the day-to-day work, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fully get AI on board. Take all the advantage, all the good stuff it's here to deliver. Don't miss out on it. Yeah. So next thing, I'm going to talk about the now. Right. So here we go. This is the now section. QR code here. Take the quiz. Pause the video. Simple 8 to 10 questions on your organization. I'm going to send you some great free stuff. And it's part of this trilogy we're doing. There's other stuff as well. And by the time you do this, you'll probably be able to download a workbook, work through it all as well. Take notes about whatever you want to do. So in this section, we're going to look at the now, the action plan for AI Plan A, right? What do you need to do? One of my former careers was working inside tech, and I thought I'd share this. This is quite funny. Might get cancelled with this, but let's have a go anyway, right? So when I used to work in IT, I used to sit next to the IT guy, the help desk guys, and it wasn't me, it was them. I promise it was the help desk guys. They'd have this thing called Code ID 10T, right? And if you read it, it spells idiot in the right way. Yeah. Basically, they were calling the users with simple questions idiots. It was funny actually, but and you can't blame the users for asking the simple questions because it happens to all of us. In fact, I use it on me when I'm trying to do a online meeting. I usually use Zoom, and I'm not used to using Teams and the Microsoft. I can't even remember the name. So sometimes, because they've got the buttons in the wrong way, I'm sitting there struggling trying to work out which button to press. And if I've gone on there once or twice, I end up going twice. So it's not difficult to muck up tech. Don't worry if you're mucking up tech. I do it all the time, and I work in the industry, right? But back to the point. Look, I do not want you to be called the idiot, right? Don't stay behind. The way I think about it is with AI, the AI is inside your machines. The actual intelligence is in your head. Let us help you unlock it. We're here to unlock the actual intelligence, not the with the artificial self, right? So remember, AI is inside, actual intelligence is outside. This quote really sums it up for me. Okay, how can we help you further? I hope you enjoyed this training. Please share it, give it a review, let me have your questions. Back to this QR code, give it a quick scan. You'll get a little quiz, 8 to 10 questions. Simple little quiz, do the quiz. That's the assessment. We will send you a free strategy. This AI Plan A is the free strategy. It's part of the trilogy. We'll send you the other 2 parts. We'll send you the slides, the workbook, everything we've got at that point. We're not hiding anything, I personally think this is the best AI implementation strategy out there. It's better than my objective is to make this strategy better than some of the paid strategies you're hiring consultants to do, right? Because this is all inclusive. It gets every part of your company working together on AI. Yeah. It's not about getting a chatbot, getting it implemented so you can get rid of a whole bunch of staff. And the reason you shouldn't be getting rid of your staff is they've got IP of your company rests inside their head. They know stuff about your company, your customers, that the chatbots don't. And you can't replace it. And when you get rid of that, you're going to cause yourself problems, right? We've seen this with companies having experience. It's not that widely talked about, but it's actually happening. Do the opposite approach where you get rid of the mundane day-to-day stuff, use AI, and all of those staff, all of those team members become an asset to your company. So that's the view we're coming from. So take the quiz, answer the questions, that's your assessment. We'll give you all the free strategy broken down. If you want to carry on working with us, we'll share our knowledge and experience and help you through, guide you through this AI Plan A and how to do one part of AI. Yeah. You could do the others as well. In fact, you should be doing everything. Is basically the way you think about it. Now, as I promised at the beginning, and this is actually really interesting technology this company's come up with. Basically, you scan the code, put in your name and put in your email, and the CPD certificate comes to you automatically. We don't deal with this. This is an amazing piece of tech. It has allowed us to automate CPD webinars. All the webinars you're seeing are done in this fashion because of this piece of tech. Amazing piece of technology. During the lockdown 2020, I looked into online learning. I've got previous experience in online.com boom. I was involved in an online startup, and I wish we had something like that. I didn't actually realize the work that goes on behind organizing, managing, and creating CPD trainings until they came up with this, and I began to understand it. I've actually got a CPD training on how to automate your CPDs. So please look that up. It's a really great training. It's got some really great tech. Really, it's fantastic to be able to share it. But this is a demonstration of that technology. So while I'm talking, please scan that, get your CPD certificate. Appreciate your time. I really hope you found some of this training useful. That's what I'm trying to do, is deliver useful training. And a quick reminder, make sure you scan the code just in case you haven't. And if you haven't already done so, please scan this code, take the quiz, very short quiz, 8 to 10 questions. If we can't help you, we'll send you our resources free. If we can work together, we'd love to work together, share our knowledge and our expertise. We call it the ASK system. Your assessment, give you a free strategy. And I think our strategy is better than some of the paid stuff because they don't use all your team members. Paid consultants are like to say, get a chatbot, fire your guys, reduce your costs. It's not the best approach for most companies. They want to use that human potential you have in your companies. Get them to stop doing the stuff that you can automate. I come at AI from a point of automation. I think it's the next phase in automation. Really excited to be sharing this. Let me have your questions. Let me have your thoughts. I want to do more trainings. I want to get more good stuff and share more good stuff with you. You know how to get in touch. I look forward to having a conversation with you. Thank you for your time. And I hope you enjoyed the training.